someone else for that person's own happiness. So suppose that I want to be happy because that will make me fit.
All right. Seems like Mansur hasn't read any of the ethical theories pretty much, right? It seems like he's devoid of, he doesn't know deontology, virtue ethics, or, what you may have pretty much over there. So I don't think he has read those. In his mind, either you have, it's a black or white fallacy pretty much right now.
Yeah, but also the person I'm speaking to is not a very good representative of the other side. I mean, she doesn't know what she's saying either.
Yeah, she resorted to evolution straight away, right? I mean, in part, she might be right that some of our moral intuitions might be driven by, evolution. Somebody can say, right? But then yeah, she didn't represent her position pretty well.
No, I mean it depends on what she meant by that. I mean, if she wants, I think Mansur would be correct to. They are both understating what they're maybe in the haste of the conversation, under explaining themselves and making articulating in a bad way. But I mean, Mansur should be saying something like evolution is just a descriptive scientific theory. It's not an ethical theory, right? And evolution may put on biological constraints on our behavior, but it doesn't explain what we ought to do and ought not do, right? And she should be saying that if the argument is that everything goes, evolution, descriptively even, has created drives and motivations and desires to not create that sort of society. In other words, we've evolved for such a long period of time, and we've evolved a moral instinct in order to be a socially altruistic species, for the most part. In general, obviously, it's not always like that, but in general, there are computer programs and mathematical equations demonstrating that indeed the best optimal sort of position to be in it would be an altruistic one, and therefore this kind of dystopia that Mansur is thinking won't happen, right? At least, but that still doesn't defend. That would at least explain that at least a dystopia won't happen, but it doesn't show that there is a moral standard. All it means is that there are drives and feelings and instincts that are consistent with a altruistic vision, altruistic sort of reality, but it doesn't show what we ought to do either. That doesn't, you can't derive an ought from the is of evolution. And Mansur would be also right to point out the fact that there are certain circumstances in evolution in which selfish behavior might be appropriate. So, for example, the lion killing the cub so that it can procreate with the mother, triggering its cycle so that it can be impregnated by and then it forcibly rapes the mother.
The lioness.
Lioness, yes. Right. So which part of evolution are we prioritizing? So as soon as we start saying this is good and this is evolutionary, this is a good behavior, this is a bad behavior, then we're being selective. If it was just up to evolution, well, evolution creates all of these behaviors. Which sort of behaviors are we trying to enshrine in our laws? Which sort of behaviors are we legislating? Are we following the lion? No, we're not. So clearly there's a agent here choosing and picking behaviors from evolution to prioritize and legislate and prescribe and say we ought not do this. So therefore it's not so easily the case that you can just point to evolution and say that this is a normative ethical theory. So evolution only explains why we behave altruistically. It doesn't give us the foundation for objective ethics. And in order to do that, you have to make a philosophical case. And I submit you can make a philosophical case, but I don't think that girl knows much about it. And I don't think Mansur has ever, like Philo has said, there are many cases whereby John Rawls and Immanuel Kant. I mean, these are very standard understandings. They're more special. There are more unique niche positions by modern day moral philosophers, like Shelley Kagan, who makes the argument that you can make a case for objective morality. And I don't think people like Mansur has even heard of these things. He's just a guy who talks to laymen, being a layman himself, in a park, which is, that's what he is.
Right, Kelly, you wanted to
Right.
add something to it?
Yeah. I'll go on a slightly different tangent on what he was saying. So, from what he said, I'm assuming, what my understanding is, that he's very concerned with holding people accountable for whatever they do. And he is sort of, he wants to believe in a world, or he wants to live in a world where people are held accountable for what they do. But the problem is this, even is in his own worldview, the God that he believes in.
Hey, Kelly, can I stop you for a second?
Yes,
I think
sure.
we are getting a
Mahadin is
feedback from
Mahadin.
Mahadin's side, probably. Mahadin.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah. So I'll just repeat what I was saying. I was saying that what I understand from Mansoor's statement is that he's very concerned with holding people accountable for whatever they do. But the problem with his worldview is that even in his worldview, even if there is a God who holds people accountable, there is no one to hold that God accountable for anything. In even in the Quran, chapter 21, verse 23, it is clearly said that no one can ask God as to what he does, but he can ask everyone. So if he's concerned with holding people accountable for what they do, then the question arises as to why is he not concerned? Why does his concern then go away when it's God? Now he could say that no, by his own belief that God is good, whatever he does is good. But then we realize that the question, how does he know that whatever that God does is good? Because he is the one who assigns rights to people, who is the one who assigns duties to people. Maybe according to him, as he clearly said, no one can hold him accountable. And as I showed a hadith in one of our previous streams, a hadith clearly says that even if God throws everyone in hell, he would not be unjust in doing so. So, according to the Islamic
Kelly,
belief,
this is the same
there's a
thing
word.
as the Euthyphro's dilemma. What
Exactly,
God,
exactly.
it's a divine command
All
theory,
right,
pretty much in a sense here, right?
exactly.
I mean,
So,
you
yeah,
just can't question it, pretty much, right? I have put the that ayat on the screen
yeah,
for everybody to
yeah.
see.
That must be yeah. So, so the question arises: if Mansoor is fine with having an an entity who's supreme, super powerful, being not accountable to anyone, what's the problem with him? With why does he have a problem with believing that humans don't are not accountable to anyone else but to other humans? I mean, I think it's a bit more reasonable, because at least other humans can hold you accountable. But you, according to Mansoor's belief, he believes in an entity who nobody can hold accountable, who's not accountable to anyone. He can do anything he wants or desires. And not only would Mansoor not object to that, according to Mansoor's belief, he would consider that good and just. So that does not make any sense.
Hmm.
Ugba,
Can you hear me?
Ugba asked me to display this one, this hadith. He says that Adam, in this hadith, Adam absolves himself from the moral responsibility, basically pointing to predestination. Was this for this one or something else? Maybe it was for this one, right? Okay, I'm just gonna drop this. Madin, you have something to say, or should we?
Um, I'll just say that
You can show this hadith. You can show this hadith, the one that I sent right now.
yeah, I'll just say that for Mansour, he's trying to say that without God and and there's no accountability, or you're just subject to multiple and various different ideologies and so on. He's kind of he's kind of stupidly, foolishly exempting himself from that, because with God you're also subject to multiple ideologies. You have different ideological interpretations, you have different band camps, you have different religions, you have different scholars, you have different traditions, you have different versions of God, and you have different versions of the supernatural. So he's also part of this massive plethora of a multifaceted level of ideologies, as would be the atheist, who might have, you might be a conservative atheist, you might be a liberal atheist, you might be a communist, you might be a capitalist, whatever your moral views are. You might be pro-abortion, you might not be pro-abortion, etc. But you can have the same reality within theism and the theological framework. So what is he talking about? Oh, he's trying to say that if he assumes his particular interpretation, which might be, for example, in consensus with a small group of people in the world, then you have consistency. Well, yeah, but that's the same thing can be said about any ideology, right? If you're a conservative and you're an American and you believe in the Republican Party, and they may have consensus. Well, there you go. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Hanafi, and you follow that school, well, then you're going to have a consensus. But what if you're a Shia, right? So what is he talking about? The way you get this you both have multifaceted ideologies battling with each other, trying to get each other to follow different laws. So I don't understand what he's trying to say there. He's trying to say, in principle, if he's right, then there's this one answer. Well, everybody believes the same thing. If in principle, if I'm right about abortion, let's say, then we have this one answer. And I'm actually quite conservative with my beliefs on abortion. Well, am I right? Well, if I'm right, then we have one answer. So I don't know what he's talking about. And the other thing that I'd say in terms of accountability, the girl is right and I'm just reiterating what I said, the girl is right in the sense that we do have accountability, right, in the world to each other. And if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't have flourishing societies. We won't have prison systems and court systems. We wouldn't have legislation. We wouldn't have policies. We wouldn't have stuff like shame and humiliation, ostracization, and excommunication of people who betray the tribe, let's say. We wouldn't have condemnation. These things are can be shown through game theory that helps regulate society. This is why we don't have people just going around murdering and raping and sociopaths and psychopaths running havoc. Evolution has minimized these traits and has configured society to be far more harmonious than Mansur is giving credit for. And this is why you see atheistic societies doing really well statistically, and why there's correlation between democratic and secular societies and a variety of different humanitarian values. Decrease in discrimination, decrease in bullying, harassment, increase in compassion and public spending, public resources, all this. So we don't have this kind of craziness that he's talking about. So he really wants to make the case that philosophically we're not accountable to anybody. Like there is no real moral standard, final objective moral standard. But he's not. Why is he talking to people in a park about this? Has he really examined the philosophical literature on this? If he's listening to this, or anybody who's fans listening to this, I can give you several accounts of objective morality. I'll start with one. Shelley Kagan. Type in his name on Google. You'll see that he's written a massive book recently on it. And why don't they know about this? Imagine if I didn't know about the best arguments for Islam. Well, am I a sincere, and I dismiss Islam? Well, am I a sincere examiner of the truth, sincere truth seeker? No, because I don't even know what the arguments for theism is. I don't even know what the main central argument for Islam is. It might be like something like a linguistic argument, But so equally, if you don't know about what's happening in philosophy, in moral philosophy, written by atheists, written by experts like Shelley Kagan, then you're not a sincere truth seeker, and Mansur is not a sincere truth seeker.
All right. Yes, Madan. I think has Mansur inadvertently become our bunny today? Seems so. I didn't know we were gonna. I didn't realize that we were gonna run only Mansur's videos.
I knew it because I had selected all the videos.
Yeah.
I knew if you had selected all the videos that I had sent you, then we are only reviewing Mansur's videos.
Poor fella. All right, you wanted to talk about this hadith, right?
No, I think we don't. You've just shown this fine. I just talked about it already.
So you did.
That I was mentioning. You can highlight it.
It's Sunan Abi Dawud 4699, Sahih by Al-Albani.
In the fourth line, it just says in the fourth line, if Allah were Allah to punish everyone in heaven and in the earth.
You're right.
he would do
All
so
right.
without being unjust to them.
Right.
So yeah, if he throws everyone in hell, he would.
Shall we
These
do
people would still
one
follow.
last sorry, Cal,
I think
please go ahead.
yeah, I think we can do another one, or maybe. What do you think, Madhav?
What do you guys
We have
think, Martin? Shall
we
we
have actually
shall we
gone
talk
through
to
3 shorts quite quickly today. That's quite good.
I think we should keep it short. I think we should keep it short. Let's just
I can agree.
think when we're ahead. Let's not go crazy.
Yeah, right.
You think?
Maybe yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what's the plan, Philo? Do you want to review it then for Madhan? No, right?
Martin, what did you say? No or yes? I thought
No.
let's
I
go
think
quickly
Madhan
through
said that
one.
we have to keep it short, so I think we
Sure.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought we want to keep short, as in reviewing the
I mean, if you two want to do it, then I'll do it.
No,
I mean,
I think
but if
no.
you
I
want,
think
I suggest we
I
don't. But it's up to you
yeah.
guys.
Okay,
I think I
we'll
can agree.
stop.
I agree with you.
We'll keep
Let's
it
keep
for
it short.
the next time, right? We'll keep it for the next time, right? Okay, let's make the link public. Anybody who wants to join, I think Reflecting Journey wanted to join, and so let's see who else wants to join. Cosmic and Ugba.